Draft day is full of hope, but sometimes the hype turns into disaster. From overhyped players to fake stats, these are the biggest draft busts in NFL history. Let's dig in. Number 10, Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky became the Bears' most controversial draft moment because Chicago actually traded up one spot, giving away a third, a fourth, and a future third just to snag him at number 2. The pitch was that he was a polished pocket passer, the safer choice over the raw talent of Patrick Mahomes and Bears. GM Ryan Pace called it a bold move for the future. They backed that belief with a 4-year, $32 million fully guaranteed rookie contract. Be honest, you're binge watching my videos, aren't you? Just hit subscribe, we both know you belong here. Alright, let's get back into it. Trubisky's limitations showed up fast. His arm strength and mechanics were inconsistent, and he couldn't sustain the level needed to lead a contender, eventually getting benched for poor performance. He did go 29-21 as a starter, while the Bears were 45-39 from 2017 to 2020, but the 2020 season was a disaster with a QBR of 39.5 and costly interceptions in the playoffs. Today, he's a backup for the Bills on a $2.5 million per year deal. Number 9, Trey Lance. Trey Lance was the 49ers' boldest gamble in years. A third overall pick that cost San Francisco their 2021 first, a later pick, and a 2022 third just to move up. The hype was massive, an NDSU phenom with 0 interceptions and the promise of becoming the next elite mobile quarterback in the Mahomes mold. But soon, things fell apart. Injuries and inconsistency defined his stint. A broken finger as a rookie, a season-ending ankle fracture in week 2 of 2022, and ongoing accuracy and decision-making issues in limited action. Despite the 49ers going 25-8 during his tenure, Lance struggled, totaling just 2 touchdowns to 3 interceptions with a 48% completion rate in 4 starts. He was benched for Jimmy Garoppolo and later inactive during the playoffs. Kyle Shanahan eventually admitted it didn't work. Today, Lance is a backup with the Cowboys after a low-value trade, while San Francisco ate roughly $30 million and lost the chance to draft players like Mac Jones or Creed Humphrey. This video literally pauses right here until you smash that subscribe button. Don't test me. Number 8, Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel was the Browns' let's turn the rebuild into a spectacle pick, traded up for after the infamous Josh Gordon deal. He came in as a Heisman legend from Texas A&M, the kind of guy Cleveland believed could revive a franchise overnight. The Browns handed him a 4-year, $12.2 million contract with about $8.5 million guaranteed, money that quickly turned into a sunk cost. What went wrong was not football alone. Manziel's personal life spiraled into partying, family drama, and a terrible work ethic flushed his potential down the drain. His skills faded under pressure, and his attitude became a bigger problem than his arm. Cleveland went 7-9 in 2014, and Manziel only made 2 starts, completing 57% of passes with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He was suspended for Texas Forever antics and shuffled in and out with Brian Hoyer. GM Ray Farmer called him dynamic talent, but later admitted the team failed the character evaluation. As it stands, Manziel has been out of the league since 2019, working as an XFL and FBS coach while on a sobriety and rehab journey. Number 7, Kyle Boller. Kyle Boller was the Ravens' high school film dream pick, a Cal gunslinger with a strong arm and mobility that made Baltimore pass on Troy Polamalu and Mark Clayton. He went 19th overall in 2003, and the Ravens handed him a 4-year deal worth around $15 million with roughly $8 million guaranteed. That move came back for them pretty fast. Boller struggled to consistently hit receivers, and his interception rate became a problem, compounded by injuries that kept him from building any rhythm. These signs were there in his college days, but the Ravens still be big on him. They were still 44-24 from 2003 to 2007, but Boller only started 22 games and finished with a career completion rate under 57%, throwing 44 interceptions compared to 38 touchdowns. Baltimore quickly moved on, and Boller retired in 2012, later moving into coaching and business. In total, the Ravens wasted about $12 million in salary and over $40 million in opportunity. Number 6, Greg Robinson. In 2014, the Rams made Greg Robinson the number 2 overall pick, signing him to a $25.7 million contract with $19.7 million guaranteed. Robinson was supposed to be a bulldozer, an Auburn beast who bullied defensive linemen in the SEC and looked like the perfect left tackle for the NFL. But the Rams ignored a major issue. His technique wasn't NFL ready. He lacked the foot speed and agility needed to handle pro pass rushers, and his pass protection was a constant mess. From 2014 to 2017, the Rams went 28-35, and Robinson ranked near the bottom in run blocking and pass sets, with plenty of embarrassing whiffs. He bounced around briefly with the Lions and other teams before fading out of the league after 2020. In total, the Rams wasted about $25 million and missed out on a generational talent like Aaron Donald at number 13 and Khalil Mack at number 5, an opportunity cost of roughly $80 million. Number 5, Trent Richardson. Trent was a power back who ran for over 1,400 yards and looked like the kind of bruiser who could instantly reshape Cleveland's offense. The Browns gave him a 4-year, $22 million contract with about $20 million guaranteed, basically betting the house on a running back in a league where that rarely works. But the problem started fast. Richardson had little vision and couldn't read blocks. He fumbled, and a knee surgery early in his career slowed him down even more. In 2012 and 2013, the Browns went just 11-21, and Richardson averaged only 3.5 yards per carry on 267 carries. By week 2 of 2013, he was traded away like a hot potato. New GM Mike Lombardi later said it was right to trade for the future, but the damage was already done. Richardson wasted about $15 million in salary, and the Browns lost out on players like Matt Khalil and Luke Kuechly, costing them roughly $40 million in all. Right now, he's been out of the NFL since 2017, even trying minor league baseball. Number 4, Tony Mandriak. Tony Mandarich was the Packers' dream come true on paper, the incredible bulk, the number 1 non-quarterback prospect who looked like a man among boys at Michigan State. Green Bay passed on Thurman Thomas at number 3 and even Deion Sanders at number 5 to take Mandarich at number 2 in 1989, giving him a 4-year, $4.4 million contract with the full bonus paid up front. But the hype was built on a lie. Mandarich struggled with steroid withdrawal and painkiller addiction. And once the spotlight faded, his work ethic collapsed. He never developed into the dominant tackle he was supposed to be, and his pass protection was weak, leading to a career that never lived up to the billboards. The Packers went 38-22 while he played minimally from 1989 to 1991, and he was out of football after a concussion in 1992. Coach Mike Holmgren stuck with him longer than he should have, but the damage was done. Mandarich later retired in 1998, got sober, and wrote a memoir called Once a Warrior. Number 3, Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf is on this list because the Chargers asked what could possibly go wrong, and Leaf answered, "Hold my beer." The Chargers traded up from number 3 to number 2 in 1998, hoping he would rival Peyton Manning. Leaf had the tools, size, and arm, and the Chargers rewarded that potential with a $31.25 million contract, including more than $10 million guaranteed. But his attitude and ego became toxic, and besides fighting fans and the media, his accuracy was awful. Leaf went 4-14 as a starter, while the Chargers went 17-34 from 1998 to 2000, completing just 48% of his passes with 14 touchdowns and 36 interceptions. One moment was when he confronted a reporter after a game. GM Bobby Beathard admitted it was a disaster from the start, and Leaf was out of the NFL by 2001. He later served prison time and now works as a speaker and advocate. Number 2, Tim Couch. To everyone, he was the next Elway who would turn Cleveland into a contender. He came out of the air raid at Kentucky with SEC records and over 4,000 yards and 36 touchdowns, and the Browns paid for that hype with a $40.5 million contract. But Couch couldn't handle the NFL grind. He took 56 sacks as a rookie, battled arm and thumb injuries, and never had an offensive line that could protect him. His air raid skills didn't translate, and his accuracy and decision-making slipped under pressure. Couch went 22-37 as a starter, while the Browns went 30-66 from 1999 to 2003, throwing 64 touchdowns and 67 interceptions and getting sacked 76 times. Even the 2002 playoff appearance couldn't save him. He's been out since 2007, working in real estate in Kentucky. Cleveland didn't lose a quarterback. They lost years of stability because they drafted the highlight reel instead of the player. Number 1, Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell was a Heisman finalist who looked like the franchise savior after Rich Gannon. Never minding his inconsistent LSU tape and poor interviews, Oakland made him the #1 overall pick in 2007 and handed him a $68 million contract with $31.5 million guaranteed. But the cracks didn't waste time before showing up. Russell showed up out of shape at over 300 pounds, and his attitude became a major issue. On the field, his accuracy and decision-making were inconsistent, and his mechanics never stabilized. In his career, Russell went 7-27 as a starter, while the Raiders went 12-44 from 2007 to 2009. He completed 52% of his passes with 18 touchdowns and 23 interceptions, including a disastrous 2009 season featuring 3 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, late throws, and constant fumbles. Russell has been out of the NFL since 2010 with failed comeback attempts, now working as a personal trainer and running his own business. And that's all for today's video. Which of these busts do you think deserved more grace? Tell us in the comments and be sure to subscribe to see more exciting NFL videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.